I lived with 5 friends, all stoners, drink a lot, cool.
Similar values.
We would steal beer, stuff them in our pants, and like we'd go drink.
Do you think there's like an identity shift that needs to happen for most folks?
I think it's removing your ego from the business. A lot of people want to be the guy who's like in the center of it and like want to be the face of the company and like want to have entrepreneur in their bio. And like I look at those people now and I'm like, you're trying to scale the unscalable. If you feel unstuck and you're listening to this and you have a skill set that people are paying you for, what I would begin to do is I would begin to think to myself, what is the problem that I'm solving? And then how do I productize the steps that get my clients from where they are to where they want to go? Mind frame just in business and any future business that I create. And like, I wish I knew this earlier.
Austin, what's up? Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Happy to have you. Let's dive in. Let's start in on the deep end here. You're late teens. This is what I know.
Late teens.
Late teens.
Define late teens.
Talking 16, 17.
16.
So I guess that's maybe mid to late teens.
Okay.
Your mom and you and your brother got evicted from the apartment.
Yep.
Your mom took out credit cards in your name. Your brother was stealing money from you and addicted to opioids. Can you walk me through that family dynamic?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So many just like pictures came up in my mind when you were saying that. Yeah, let's start with the first one. So yeah, recession was happening. Mom thought she could start a new career in real estate while brother was addicted to drugs. It was just like, and then her mom or her father-in-law was sick and she couldn't pay rent. So we basically got kicked out of our apartment. She moved to Idaho to live with her family. And then my brother, my brother moved in with my dad, I think. But really weird time because before that, I remember going into Bank of America. I think this was before I was 16, but going into Bank of America and then I was like, what are we doing here? And she had like, bring me. And I was like, why am I here? And then it was because she needed to cash out the bonds that my grandpa had left me. And I was like,
man.
Oh, okay, cool. Like, sure, whatever. I would do whatever for her. And then 16, or I think I opened my first credit card when I was whatever. And then all of a sudden there's already been a credit card for me. And I'm like, that's weird. Yeah. And then my brother, addicted to opioids at the time, which was a weird time, and foil in the bathroom, and then like the little straws, because it would be like the ones that you light and then you inhale it. I think they call them beans or something like that. Beans. And then you'd have like that smell in the house. And then him getting phone calls from people who were mad at him like doing like the fake checks and stuff to like get cash, that little trick. And yeah, it was a weird time. Yeah. Those are the pictures that came into my head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very vivid.
Yeah.
So the relationship with your mom, when that was going on, it seems like you would have done anything for her. So there wasn't anything. Yeah, that's great. Yeah. So there wasn't anything malicious or malicious intent or anything like that.
She's always like, she's got the biggest heart, and she would never make anything feel like it's a big deal. Yeah. Despite like maybe on the inside, it's like she has a bunch of credit card debt, or I don't even know her financial situation, but it's not good. But like on her, it's like, I'm going to figure, like she's like overly optimistic and then loving of like me and my brother. So she also wanted to help my brother. So she obviously an addict in the family. I don't know if you've ever dealt with that, but
I have,
it's insane. And like you want to help so bad. And she was maybe like a little susceptible to that. So it's kind of like that sort of balance. But I love my mom, and like she loves us, and that's why she did everything that she had to do.
Yeah. Shout out mom.
Yeah. Shout out mom.
You and your brother.
Yeah.
Stealing dinero. How'd that come to pass?
So, man, it's just been like a journey of that. And like, same thing, like I still love him. But yeah, I think like him bouncing checks was like really interesting to me, and pawning stuff, like who pawns stuff, like finding stuff around the house, like pawn things. Again, like I didn't know too much at the time. Like I was kind of like maybe just ignorant to it, but
and that's kind of just like what life was.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah. So that's kind of weird. And then, but yeah, looking back, it's like, that's not how normal families are.
Yeah.
It's not how like it typically works, but yeah, I just feel bad for him. And yeah, it was just a sad time, but glad he got clean and like was able to get over it and stuff.
Let's go.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So for the most part, he's clean, but like over it and like moving on, like he just had a kid and that's changed his life dramatically. And he got a dog, and that changed his life dramatically. And like he has a job now, which is like awesome. Which is like he works at the post office, but like to me, that's like, dude, just stick with it and just like keep going, and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
So
that's amazing.
Yeah.
Consistency.
Yeah. That's the plan.
Yeah. Let's go to you then.
Mm-hmm.
These are your words, not mine. So I'm not calling you this. The quote is, back in the day, I was what most would consider a loser. Unemployed, smoking weed daily, no college degree, no direction. What was the low moment before things started to change? Like maybe that like, you know, sometimes you got to hit rock bottom so you can bounce the other way.
Yeah.
Was there one of those?
Yeah. I mean, like my late teens, if that's what you want to call it.
I'm terming that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
that term.
I remember I would hang out with people, and we would like get drunk, and like we would steal beer and like Four Locos from like Rite Aid, and like we'd stuff them in our pants, and like we'd go drink and like just drink outside. Yeah, high school was basically just me like smoking weed literally every single day, because my mom, she was like really graceful, and like she was like, yeah, I don't care if you smoke, you can do it like in the house because it's like chill. And she didn't care that I did it, so like it was fine. And like she'd buy me cigs and like sometimes even beer for like parties as I was like a little bit older, or at the time. And then, so she was like super chill with it. And I was like, yeah, like that's just kind of what I did. And I was just hanging around the wrong people. And I was like an athlete, so I should have pursued that. But again, I was just like, you're in it. And yeah, I think I smoked weed every day for like 90 days straight or something like that.
Wow.
So I just remember like
consistency again.
Yeah. I tried to like beat this record in my head, and like I was addicted to it.
Yeah.
Like as much as it's not addicting, but it was like, I just like wanted to feel that every single day. And like, yeah, I would just smoke by myself and stuff. It's like weird, especially when it's like not legal at the time and stuff. It was just like a weird thing. But,
bit of a escapism maybe, or
yeah, for sure. Probably. Yeah. And just being around the wrong people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a lot of questions around the wrong people and the right people.
The stoners. It was like the stoner crew. And I was like the cool kids. And like, that's what I thought.
I'll try to tee up with some transition stuff here.
Okay.
Then. This is what I know, all of the jobs you had in your early days.
Yeah.
I got, and I don't know if all of them are correct, so please correct me if they're wrong. Call center.
Yep.
Commercial bank teller.
Close. Commercial painter.
I got mopping lead containment floors.
Commercial painting. Yep.
Okay, that's same lane. I gotcha.
Yep.
And then you ended up walking away from a 6-figure sales job that was commission only at NBC.
Yeah. At the NBC affiliate, King 5, yeah.
But it sounds like there was something before NBC where maybe you separated yourself from those folks.
Yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, it was probably when I was 18, so graduated high school. I thought I was going to go to college because I thought that's like what people do. Was still like in my party phase. And then I moved up north from where I was living, probably like 2 hours into a college town. Going to like, there's like a university and there's like a community college there. And then I lived with 5 friends, all stoners, drink a lot, cool.
Similar values.
It was just like, I was just like, that's just what we do. We just go out and we're going to go party. That's like the college culture. And then, and then I just didn't have a job. I didn't go to class because I don't even think we could afford classes. I think I took like 1 quarter of classes. I was like gaining a bunch of weight, and my mom ran out of money to actually pay for me to live there. So I was like, I can't do this anymore. So I then moved back down home with my dad, and my dad's a little bit more like stricter, and he was cool with that. And then I started basically paying for college because, again, I thought that's what I would do, and just myself. And I would basically do like, so I was like a summer camp guy when I first moved down there. So like that was my thing. I would basically teach kids. It was like I was for the city, but you worked in like with the kids. So that's what I did, like kind of all year round. And then summer it was like full time.
Nice. And
then my dad's like, dude, I got like this job opportunity for you. And then at the time I was like, I'm going to be a police officer because it's like strict and like I needed structure at the time. I don't remember an event that was like, oh gosh, I'm going to move back home with my dad.
Yeah.
But I remember being at home with my dad, who's more strict and like more by the books, and that probably leaked onto me. And I was like, oh gosh, like I need to be like that as well. And then, I wanted to be a police officer. So I was like, okay, I'm going to be a police officer, but I can't apply yet because I'm only 18, 19 years old. So I'm just going to work and potentially take some classes. So and then worked with a bunch of kids teaching soccer. I don't play soccer. And then my dad's like, dude, I got this job for you. Like this really cool opportunity. And it's like with a commercial painting company. I was like, okay, cool. So I started at the commercial painting company. It's like $16 an hour, which is like a lot at the time for me, at least. And I took it because I just wanted like stability and structure while I was working to be a police officer. And then did that for like 3 months, worked at one job. And then they're like, hey, we're moving to another job. And it was an hour-long drive. And it was on a bridge. And yeah, it was like they were sandblasting the paint from the bridge and then repainting it. And then basically there's like lead in there. So you have to contain the whole bridge. And then you're on like this like scaffolding thing. And then it's like hanging underneath the bridge. And like you look over and it's literally the water. Like 50 to 100
You
feet
strapped
down.
into anything, or you're just
No,
out there? All right.
No. And my job was like sweep the floors. And I was there with like people working like from jail leave and stuff. Like it was like that type of crowd. And I was like, okay, this is wild. And then I did not like that. So that was like probably 3 to 6 months or it was probably like more like 6 months of doing that. And then at the gym, I met another guy who was working at this company and he worked in the call center. And he's like, dude, like you should apply there. And I was like, cool, sounds awesome. Like it's a little bit of a pay cut, but I'm not going to be in a freaking lead containment. Yeah. And then I worked my way up at that company, and that's where I met the founder of the company. It was an e-commerce company, and he had a very similar story to me, all that sort of stuff. And I was like latched onto him, and I was like, dude, this guy's like divorced parents, did like a little bit of a degenerate brother, didn't go to college, and he ended up selling his company for $200 million to Lowe's, and he wants to like hang out with me and like go golfing, and like I could get something from this. And then he saw a lot in me, and then I built up in that company a little bit, went into business development. And then from there, after he sold the company, then I started working at NBC, the affiliate there, selling ads. So that's like the real like detailed journey.
The juice.
Of it. Yeah.
I love the juice.
Yeah.
I want to take a shot at guessing who the mentor is.
Go.
Gary Rubens.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go. Tell me more about Gary.
That's my guy.
Because I keep seeing that in your story, especially the line, I think you are capable of more than you think you are.
Yeah, exactly.
But that seems really impactful, but it also seems like you guys had a relationship where he was
to Mexico a lot.
Yeah.
Like we would travel together. We did like a Spartan race. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Cool guy.
What else have you learned from him? I feel like that's like such tangible, and just the circumstance of meeting him almost feels like right place, right time.
Yeah. Yeah. It was never like I want to get something from you type of relationship. And he was never like I want to mentor you or like
formal.
Yeah. It was never like that. Like it was really just a friendship.
That's great.
But I was able to like learn a lot just from like hearing him, asking him questions, learning about him. He was like really invested into real estate. So like that was like really something that I learned a lot about him. Not that I'm like really invested into real estate, but just like being around it, you know, like being around those people. And then it also gives you a sense of like, they're just like me, you know what I mean? And it's like, if he can do it, I can do it.
I could smoke him in a Spartan race.
Right. Yeah. I did that, I think. But like, there's nothing like astonishing about this guy. Like, yeah, he's really smart and like really business, but he's still like a human just like me. And it's like, because he wasn't given anything, it's like the real common denominator of Gary is just like, he worked really hard and he was really smart about how he worked. And that's how he's successful. It's
great.
Like, that's all you really need.
Boom.
Yeah.
That reminds me of the phrase more is caught than taught.
Yeah.
Which I feel like
100%.
is probably the best in terms of like a relationship like that.
Totally. Because we're friends.
Yeah. Formalities kind of make it weird.
Yeah. Totally.
Hey, let me mentor you.
Yeah. And
become
then
my
it's like
mentee.
transactional.
Yeah.
Like we were just friends. We are just friends. We're still friends.
All right. So take me to NBC. You're making solid dough.
Yep.
And you're like, I'm out of here.
Yep.
No degree, no connections. I mean, maybe Gary, but no safety net.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember getting the job at NBC. It was like they took a bet because they didn't hire anybody without college degrees because that was kind of the culture at the time. And it was
charmed them.
It's like a really big company, right? Yeah, I guess so. And like had a connections, but got lucky. And then like, I think it was like a $30,000 salary plus commission, but just worked really hard and started getting sales. I was there for like 2.5 years. So like the first year was just like figuring it out, and then was making, six figures, not high six figures, $150,000, $160,000. I was 21 years old, something like that, which is cool. And then it was like, I was really moving up. And then I remember asking my manager, I was like, what do you think, like, how much can I make next year? And he's like, oh, probably mid-2s. And I was like, okay. And then I still quit the job. So, and then I was like, just interested in like entrepreneurship, like Gary V and like people like that. And I had like a keen interest in just like entrepreneurship, because sales is pretty much entrepreneurship. And then
Truly.
was talking to people in like real estate, and wanted to go in it just to start a business really, and to like make money. Like I didn't really have any other interest in real estate.
Yeah.
Outside of that, just like the image of it, I would say, is what attracted me to it. I worked hard, so I knew I could do it.
Nice. Did you get a lot of feedback that, hey, don't do that? Don't quit that job? Or was it the opposite? We're like, so. Yeah, you're doing great in this job. Like, that'll transfer. You're good.
I think it was like a surprise to the people at King 5, but they had no doubt that I would be successful like going forward.
That's nice.
And then I was living downtown Seattle, moved out of there, moved into a room with one of my friends, didn't pay any rent, Greg and Candy, who is my old baseball coach, and didn't make money for a while, and figured until I could like ramp up. So I was really grateful for that too.
Did you move into real estate immediately after that?
Yeah. When I quit my job, I was an agent.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, I'm an agent. Let me do this. And then you're kind of hit with reality. It's like, okay, what do I do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The tie to your mom being in real estate and then you going into real estate, was that also like an edge that you had going into it?
No, because she was in it probably for like 2 years.
Yeah.
And then like was just not successful.
Yeah.
Because,
But you still were around it. Maybe you saw.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I used that maybe in my story, as I was like, oh, my mom was a real estate agent for a little bit, but she didn't sell anything, I don't think. But yeah.
I gotcha. So I have here, when you were living in that spare room, you started building systems every Saturday at a coffee shop. What were some of those systems you started creating? Like, what was the first thing that helped you survive a transition like that?
So that was probably when I was a little bit deeper into real estate and just starting the agency. Okay. And it would be, there was this place, Zoka Coffee. That, at the time I moved out of my apartment.
Shout out.
Lived down the street. Yep, Zoka Coffee, like Zoka still. I mean, not anymore, but that I'd walk to, and I would just grind literally all day and just like work on the business. I would work from there because I also met another mentor / friend at that same coffee shop, and it was kind of like the place that the who's who people hung out. So as in being a realtor, like you want to be seen, so I would spend a lot of time there.
Nice. Yeah. Networking and such.
Yeah.
So then people are asking you questions. They're like, Austin, you're so good at social media, personal branding, things like that. And I think this is when the turn is when you turn into a glorified freelancer. Yeah. Working 4 a.m. to 8 p.m., which is wild. And I'm going to jump a little bit here in the timeline, I think. Yeah. But we're leading up to starting the agency around 2018, and then 2020 comes along. You already have a team, a couple folks. You got a studio. And this is when it seems like panic attacks, anxiety, now systems are really having to be in play. Yeah. Like this is like a shaky waters here. Let's talk about that time too, where there's some momentum building for the agency. Yeah,
I mean, when I first started the agency, I didn't even know what an agency was. Like I didn't even know you could monetize like social media stuff and that people would pay for it, to be honest. Like I had no clue that it was even like a business model. My friend said, who is one of my mentors as well, Jeff Rogers, shout out Jeff Rogers. He was like, dude, you should do something creative. And I was like, okay, I guess. And then I just started, saying yes to people who were asking for help and didn't even know it was like a model. And because I was pretty well connected in like the real estate space, so it like had some clients off the jump. Like I remember one of my first clients, Stacy Ekman, a great friend too still. I like did a video of his house that he built because like I was in real estate, and he's like, dude, can you do videos like that for me? I was like, yeah, I'll just do them for free. And he's like, no, but I like want to pay you because you're really good at this. And then I was like, no. And then I like did some videos for him for free, and then he became a client, blah, blah, blah. But like, I didn't even like know you could monetize it. So, which is like, I would say the founding story of most businesses is you have a skill set, and then you leverage that skill set, and then you solve problems, and then you can scale that skill set essentially. Yeah. So that was the story for a while. And then met Mark, and Mark was kind of helping me out. And then, COVID time hit and things really accelerated.
Which is interesting because that seems like maybe you would do the opposite.
Yeah, totally. It was like a little bit of a lull, and then it was like, okay, here we go. Because now people have really adopted to like the digital. Yeah, and I remember just being like, Mark and I ended up getting a 2-bedroom apartment, and we lived together and worked together. And it was just like nonstop.
That sounds wild.
Yeah, it was really fun, and like love Mark. He's great friend, great human. It was fun to like live with him, but those times were just crazy because you had shoots multiple times a day. I was still doing all the shooting or attending all the shoots at least, and then you close deals at the apartment and blah blah blah. You have to navigate COVID and stuff like that. It was a wild time. Yeah, but it was fun.
Sounds fun.
Yeah.
Also, I'm curious the role of Mark, because it sounds like he may have been employee number one, or did he take on a capacity? Because I know he's CEO now. A pseudo co-founder type of role, or
yeah, it's kind of ambiguous because he like came in, so he had an interest in being an entrepreneur.
Yeah,
and we met through like church and like just kind of being in like a men's group together. And he's like, yeah, I want to like start a business, like have a bunch of ideas. He had like dabbled in like MLM, like just wanting to like had an itch to like do stuff. Yeah, I know. And he immediately got done with that. But he had like that itch to like want to do something. And I was like, dude, I could use help. I have no idea what the heck I'm doing.
Yeah.
So he was like working at Capital One, and then he would like help me out with stuff at Braintegic. And then eventually we grew enough to where he could come in and like help out. And it was like super ambiguous. Like it was messy. Like it wasn't structured whatsoever. How I teach now people to run business is not how my business was being run.
You had to figure it out.
He was doing like everything, like social media management, managing, hiring people, like whatever we needed to get done. And I was like more marketing and sales and like shooting and stuff like that. So, but it wasn't formal whatsoever. But that was like the role and responsibility, and like plan had always been to like build him up and be an important player. And he is and has been, and obviously is going to continue to be.
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is true,
Yeah.
what I'm about to say, but I have here at 27, you broke up with your then girlfriend because it was burnout. How did burnout affect your personal life? And then what boundaries did you start to put into place? Because you're rocking the 2-bedroom apartment with your business partner and running, it sounds like run and gun 24/7.
Totally. I mean, it was a little bit before I had met Mark is when like we were having problems. And mind you, I met Sabrina when I first started in real estate.
Right.
So we were together for a long time. But yeah, I think like when you start a business, so I had the real estate and then I transitioned into agency. When you start a business, you start to potentially get a little bit of an ego, and you think the business is all about you and how much you work, and you have to have your hand in everything and you have to do everything yourself. And it's like the clients just want to work with me. And like, that's what I thought. And I thought that's what the client expected. And I also think nobody can do it as good as me. So naturally I just took on as much load. And I thought that's like what entrepreneurship was. Like I thought like it was like hustle, grind, like Gary V says, like, screw it. Like, you know what I mean? And it was like, that was my mindset. Took a lot of pride in that. And my identity was really my business. Yeah. And so the implications of that for me, at least, and I see so many TikToks of like, dude, you go to like, I hustled for 10 years and didn't take my kids to T-ball. I literally saw one today. I was like, this is a complete joke. But like the implications for me was not being present. Like I would take Sabrina on dates, but I wouldn't be like there. Always on my phone, feeling like I need to work all the time. Like always have to-do lists in the back of my brain. And we just didn't have like an emotional connection whatsoever. So then that led to us breaking up. And then she moved down to San Diego actually. And then I got closer to God and like got some good mentors and just like realized grass isn't greener. And then that's kind of what like the transition into like, okay, I need to actually be an owner and like figure this out. And then pursue Sabrina a little bit more. And then also like get emotionally connected to her and just with myself and get my priorities together. So yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I've heard you call her your secret weapon of the agency.
For sure.
And this seems like a perfect like propelling contributing factor to you changing in that way. I'm going to quote a book.
Okay.
That I think you like.
I bet I know the quote.
The book is E-Myth Revisited.
Okay. Yep.
By Michael Gerber.
Okay. Yep.
Systems run the business. People run the systems.
Yep.
Can you break down the core systems every agency owner needs to move from, operator to orchestrator? Yeah. No musical involvement.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I think, like I said earlier, a lot of people build their business based off of their skill set, right? Because they have a really good skill set. And then what happens is people start to identify the skill set and they're like, oh, I want you to use that skill set for me. Or can you also use your skill set to help me with this thing? Or you're savvy enough. Can you figure out how to do this? And then naturally we say, yeah, of course, if you're going to pay me money, I'm going to do that.
Take the credit card out now.
Let's go. If you're going to pay an invoice, I'll freaking say yes to it, right? Because you know what's best for you. Mm-hmm. But the problem with that is that you become the bottleneck and everything relies on us. So really the mind frame just in business and any future business that I create. And like, I wish I knew this earlier, is it's really just like a system, right? And all we need to do is build a really good system, which is our business, which could be your skill set. Like, how do you productize your system, productize your skill set, and make that really good and outcome driven and marketable and all that sort of stuff. Then once you're able to productize it and you get clients, then we can plug people in to work the systems that we've already built.
Yeah.
So rather than everything relies on you, because I was the guy who said yes to SEO website, and I had no idea how to do that, and I had no idea how to build a system for it. But I just kind of figured it out. Yeah, exactly. And it's just not scalable beyond yourself. So if you want to build a business, you just think about the system, and then eventually what you can do is you plug people into that system. You just have to like productize your skill set and get everything that's in your brain into like paper, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think there's like an identity shift that needs to happen for most folks?
Yep, I think it's ego. Yeah. I think it's removing your ego from the business.
Mm.
Yeah. Because I think a lot of people want to be the guy who's like in the center of it and like want to be the face of the company and like want to have entrepreneur in their bio and want to like do all that sort of stuff.
LA, Plain, New York,
right.
Miami.
Right. But that's like, I look at those people now and I'm like, you're trying to scale the unscalable.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like very ego driven. But I mean, even like as you scale a business, the best part about it is building a team and like creating jobs and doing all that sort of stuff.
You get to choose who you're going to hang out with.
Totally. And like you get to impact other people's lives. And like, it's really humbling to like know what you're doing is providing for somebody's family, perhaps, you know, and like people had kids while they're working at Brain Teaching. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's crazy. So yeah.
Never scare you.
It's a heavy responsibility, but I think just through like
the system is strong enough to withstand.
Or like you kind of build your callus to that sort of stuff. Yeah.
That makes sense to me. Yeah. I'm going to compliment you real quick.
Okay.
I think you have a sleeper skill that I haven't.
A
sleeper skill that
mean?
Not that you're good at sleeping.
You mean like a low key skill?
Low key. People don't talk about this skill for you too often, but I think it's overlooked. I looked back and you had a podcast in 2021 with some solid guest names.
Nice.
And I see that now reflected too in the guest speakers that you bring into Agency U.
Nice.
So what's your take on reaching influential people in the industry?
Yeah. It's a good question. Who came to mind for you when you were looking at the guests? Like Meltzer and like Austin
Neil
Dingra? Neil Dingra.
Yeah, Dingra.
See, I knew Neil from like events and I knew his brother really well. His brother was a client at Brain Teaching. So like there was a connection there.
And people that come into Agency U to speak, it's usually like people that are pretty prominent in authorities in their space.
Yeah, I think brand helps.
Yeah.
Like if somebody messages you and you've probably seen their ads and like JT who we had, he's like, oh, I see your ads everywhere.
I was about to say, yeah.
So it was like kind of easy to like make that type of connection. Yeah. And then like really just offering to add value to somebody. So yeah.
That easy.
Yeah. That's how I would approach it, is like adding value. And I think podcast is like really easy way to do that, and getting people in front of like potential clients and making it about them and feeding their ego and get them to talk about themselves. Like who doesn't like doing that?
It's true.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Can't get enough of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool. I'm glad I got to peek
You talk
back
about
the
other
curtain.
people all day. But.
I'm glad I got to peek back the curtain on that one because I saw all those names and I was like, whoa, where is this? This is crazy.
I know.
It was pretty fun.
I know. I should do that at some point, but it's a lot of time.
Yeah.
No.
All right, great. Let's keep it pushing here.
Okay.
Let's talk about the listeners then, talking about leading with value here. There's certainly some folks that are feeling stuck. They got some chaos going on. They lack structure. What would you suggest be the first step in unstucking themselves?
Yeah, first step in unstucking yourself is your offer. Like making sure your offer, like what we talked about the system, we could just use offer as the example. Really, if you feel unstuck and you're listening to this and you have a skill set that people are paying you for, what I would begin to do is I would begin to think to myself, cool, like what is the problem that I'm solving? And then how do I productize the steps that get my clients from where they are to where they want to go and create systems around that? And then how do I package that to be really marketable for my clients, for future clients? And then how do I start to think about who can I plug in to help on each step of that process so that I can begin to delegate and get stuff off of my plate? And then you're in a great position to scale. Yeah. Because your offer is then marketable. You can run ads and you attract your ideal customer with the pain points and outcomes. It's delegatable because you have the steps. And then you just kind of You just got to get more clients and hire people.
Who's your recommended first hire? Let's say you're 15 to 30K.
If it's like video agency, then like editing.
Yeah.
For sure. Like editing agency, just because I always look at like the time versus like value or like time input, I would say. So like editing would be like super important. I mean, our first hire was like graphic design, like videographer, but it was a mess. Like I don't take that advice from like my first business, but yeah, editor, like fulfillment tasks probably, because those are also like billable and easy to like hand off. Yeah.
Solid.
Like low leverage fulfillment tasks.
Has your perspective on money changed since growing a business?
Definitely. Yeah. A lot more numb to money.
Interesting.
I would say.
Huh.
Like spending and making and all that sort of stuff. You know, we had $100,000 payroll.
Yeah.
Like, holy crap.
Yeah.
Right now we're spending $100,000 a month on ads.
Yeah.
So it's like a tool, right? That's how I see it.
This is going to be a horrible example, but it's the one that came to my mind. I've heard when poker players talk about it, when they're gambling, like they don't see the chips as money either. It's just like a piece of plastic, and they can't.
It's a game, right?
Yeah.
I think that's like with business owners, it's like we know how to make more money. Like we know to spend money, we have to make money. Like that's very, very true. Like very true. Every time we invest money in like coaches or programs, like we always make money. So like that, like always investing it as quickly as you're making it. To continue to compound your growth. But yeah, pretty numb to it. Just a tool.
Who's been the best coach you've hired? And you can also tell me if this is true, Austin. I'm going to throw another hot take out there.
Yeah.
Your philosophy around hiring coaches is hiring them for one specific problem mainly.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, so I mean, for every coach that we worked with, for the most part, we pull enough to like justify the cost. Who would I shout out? I mean, we worked with like Brandon Forbes. We worked with Dan Bolton. We're working with Justin Saunders. I've worked with Joel Kaplan. I've worked with like a lot of like those people. Like it's not cheap and it's not like insignificant. So I would say like when we first started agency with me and Gilberto, we worked with Dan Bolton. Mm-hmm. And that was really cool because he was like very like copywriting driven, and it was like positioning, which was, I learned a lot about that, and I think I teach a lot on that, on like our offer stuff. Brandon was really helpful for like the ads. Justin's been really helpful for kind of like the next level that we're trying to get to and whatnot. So yeah, all have a lot of value.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great contribution to the team.
Totally. Yeah.
Where's the end in mind? Like, where do you want to get to? I shouldn't say end.
With agency you or just in general?
Maybe general. I think end's not the right word though.
Yeah.
Like maybe level.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I'm present and like content, right? But we have goals, obviously. But like personally, I mean, it'd be great to be, like, would love to get a company acquired. I think that'd be really fun, and continue to work on projects and companies. Like that's just what I like doing. I like business.
Yeah.
And like building. Yeah, that's what I like doing. So we're building something right now, and then I already have the next thing in mind that I want to build. But if you're thinking about that thing while you're building this thing, then it's not going to work. So we're focused on one thing.
Are you open to providing a little teaser? I feel like you're teasing
us. Yeah, I mean,
bit.
like right now it's like a consulting space, and like consulting from like a value perspective, from like a valuation perspective, isn't like 10x multiple, 20x multiple, right? Like you can only do so much with it, and like it only becomes so valuable to a buyer, like a PE or like another strategic buyer. Whereas software,
very
massive, massive multiples if you do it right. So I think that'd be really interesting to try to dabble into next, but not there yet, and haven't investigated a lot just because we're not there yet.
Fair enough.
Don't want to distract myself.
Yeah, I dig it.
Yeah.
Also, I'm going to hit you with this. Final question. Pain is a powerful motivator if you let it be.
Yeah.
It's a quote from your mouth, actually from your email, but same thing. What's a pain point you're still using as fuel today?
I mean, I think like even like thinking about the stories when we talked about for my teens, like I don't ever want to go through that. I don't want any generation of the Schneider to ever have to experience that. So I think that still is really sticky. And then my wife too, like she's immigrant parents. Like her parents literally came from Madeira, Portugal, and moved here, didn't speak English, worked at a hospital, like don't make like a ton of money, but like, and had situations because of that with her life as well. So it's like we're both very aligned on that. So I think we both tap into that, and it's also like ingrained in us now, I think, a little bit. So yeah, I would say like the childhood stuff is like what probably motivates me the most. It's like not having to be in that position.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah. And having a sense of control too.
That makes sense.
Because you don't have control when you're 16, 17.
Yeah. Controlling what you can control, essentially.
Bingo. Yeah.
Where can people connect with you? How can they get more of Agency U? Full disclaimer. I've gone through Agency U. Endorsement.
AgencyU.co. You can hit me up on Instagram, the Austin Schneider, YouTube. A lot of resources if you're into the agency space. A lot of teaching, long form stuff. But yeah, guys, that's it.
Great. I'll give one more disclaimer too before I cut as well. I've been interviewing more entrepreneurs and more coaches. I've only found, I shouldn't tee it up like that. Yourself, and this guy named Scott Anderson, who was a guest, and another guy named Kevin Schmidlin, easily top 3, like people that I would trust in the coaching space, like happily endorse. So kudos to you for building something like that.
Receive that.
Yeah.
Thanks for that.
Okay, bye.